guys? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, I'm gonna be going over some Warframes I don't use and the strange reasons why I don't use them. Now, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, this is almost me asking you guys if you think my reasoning for not using these frames is a little bit strange. I literally went through the Warframe rosters, I was like planning out content and stuff, and I was like, I haven't used this frame in a while, and I was like, oh, that's because of reason X, Y, and Z. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a really weird reason not to use a frame. And then so I just kept kind of like going through the list, and I was like, well, I don't use this frame because of this reason. That doesn't sound normal. And I just kept finding more and more, and I was like, well, I don't know, maybe I should run this by my subscribers and see what they think. Is this a weird reason not to use a frame? So I've got a couple of them listed here today, and I want you guys to sound off in the comments. Let me know if you think it's a normal reason or not a normal reason, because some of these are a little bit like, I never thought about it that way. Regardless, let me go ahead and shut up now, and let's go ahead and jump straight into the gameplay. Alright, now, I don't know if this is going to be a surprise to you guys, but I actually am not, I'm not going to say I'm not a fan of Nova, but I'm not actually a fan of using Nova. And this is probably going to come off as really strange because Nova's got some of the best fashion frame out there, and she's got a ton of utility. She's a very strong frame. She's absolutely amazing at what she does. Her debuffs are fantastic. She can use AMD to deal tons and tons of like scaling. Well, would you call it scaling? Well, it's scaling. Well, it's a lot of AoE damage basically. So Nova's a fantastic frame. There's a lot of reasons to love her, and that's kind of one of the reasons that I don't use her very much, is because everybody loves her. And when I say that I don't use her because everybody loves her, I don't use her because I see her so often in missions, and a lot of players use her. So part of me is almost kind of like along the lines of, well, everybody's using her, I don't really need to equip her. Like, like, you don't need multiple Novas in a mission. I mean, you can have multiple Novas in a mission, but legitimately, I don't feel like I ever need to bring her because she's just so commonly found out in the universe. She's like, I know you guys are gonna feel weird, but she's like the Pidgey. She's like the Pidgey of this Pokemon world. There are a million Pidgeys out there. I'm sure they're fantastic. Well, Pidgey wasn't all that great in Pokemon, but you know what I mean? It's kind of like she's just so commonly found that I don't feel like, I feel like somebody else is going to end up playing her. And I know that I've got a good amount of friends that love using her as well. So it's almost along the lines of like, well, okay, well, my friends are most likely going to play her anyway, so what's the point of me bringing her? I don't know, do you guys feel like that's a weird reason to not play them because they're popular and all of your friends are already playing them, so what's the point? I think it makes a lot of sense, but I realized that I hadn't touched her in ages simply because of that very reason. I was like, well, I mean, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do with Nova? I don't really need to bring her along, right? Like everybody else has that covered. So, I don't know. Let me know if you think that is a weird reason. I think it's totally valid-ish. Right? No? I don't know. You tell me in the comments. Alright, so this next one might trigger a few people, and I'm gonna see, we're gonna test the waters and see how you guys feel about this one. But legitimately, Nidus is one of the Warframes that I just like don't really play very much. And I really asked myself the reason why I didn't play him. And it was mainly because of the fact that I just kind of felt like I never used my weapons with him. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but, well, I guess maybe it kind of boils down to the fact that I believe that there are like two different kinds of Warframe players. There's the Warframe players that really, really love powers, and then there's the Warframe players that really, really love, that like absolutely love weapons. And for me, I'm a weapons kind of guy. So when it comes down to Nidus, I feel like if I'm not using his abilities, then I'm not building stacks. And I feel like since I'm not building stacks, then I'm not really using Nidus to like his full potential, quote unquote. And so a part of me is like, I feel like I'm wasting my stack potential if I'm not using my if I'm using my weapons. So part of me is almost like guilted into just using his abilities and only his abilities in order to kind of like create more stacks and so on and so forth. So a part of me is very much like, well, I can't really get the enjoyment out of my weapons if I am using Nidus. So whenever I I think about filming videos and I'm like, well, it's gonna be a video that features weapons, so I can't really use Nidus because I'm gonna be more focused on playing him effectively and, getting the stacks into him. So part of me is almost like, well, I don't really want to use him because I want to use my weapons. I don't know if you guys ever kind of feel, and I'm sure that there are people that are like, well, I just don't feel like using weapons today, and I would much rather just use Nidus and have a power-based Warframe, Because if you think about Nidus, he's kind of legitimately a mage brawler Warframe, right? He doesn't really have too much use for weapons. His main focus is using his abilities and spamming them in order to build stacks. And that almost basically kind of is his entire kit. It's all right, well, you don't really need weapons. You just need enough stacks to make sure that you stay alive. And that's also kind of the other thing is I mean, legitimately, the only times I've really fired off my weapons is when there wasn't enough enemies in the area for me to build stacks off of. So I'm like, well, that's not really worth my time. I don't really want to I don't want to really use the energy to try to gain stacks off of those, off of that one enemy. I might as well just go ahead and use my gun. But legitimately, because of the fact that you want to build up stacks for your passive, and get that kind of undying ability off. You want to make sure that you're using your abilities. I don't know. It's like guilt. Is guilt a good reason? Is guilt a good reason not to use a Warframe? Because that's what it feels like. It feels like power guilt. I'm like, if I'm not using his powers, then I feel almost guilty. I'm like, well, this isn't using him to the optimal ability of him. And I'm almost kind of feeling, and I'm gonna be real with you, you know how I sometimes I feel like chromas can be assholes. I feel like sometimes the Nidus community can almost be going in that same direction. You didn't hear it from me, but I'm just saying, some of those people well, you're not using him optimally. Well, you can kiss my asshole. That's exactly what you can do in that situation. Regardless, let me know if you think this is a valid reason. Oh my god. Let me know if you think that this is a valid reason, because a part of me is along the lines of yeah, I think that this is one of the reasons why I don't touch him. Alright, so I know that a lot of you are gonna jump on board this train really quick, but I don't think that you realize exactly why I'm not the biggest fan of Hydroid. And let's be completely real. At least this is gonna be my stance on it, and I'm not sure if everybody else is gonna kind of agree with me or not. But one of the big reasons that I don't play Hydroid is that I find that certain Warframes have keystone abilities, and one of his big keystone abilities, of course, is his big old tentacle, right? Just getting this out there, and it, kind of puts out a good chunk of damage, but the thing that I absolutely cannot stand about it is the fact that it's so hard to fucking hit enemies in it. And as if your enemies are low level enemies, it's fine because it instantly kills them fairly easily. But on higher difficulty missions, when you have enemies that you need to kill and the tentacles are not doing the job and they're flailing around everywhere, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so annoyed right now. I just want to kill that one guy, but I can't kill him because he's stuck in a tentacle and I can't fucking hit the goddamn tentacle. You all know, and you've heard me kind of talk about the fact that, oh yeah, there's RNG involved too, and I'm not the biggest fan of his abilities being a little bit RNG based, but legitimately, it's the same feeling that I have when I talk about Zephyr's friggin' tornadoes. Oh my god, I cannot stand her tornadoes at all. But the difference between Hydroid and Zephyr though is that Zephyr's keystone ability is more along the lines of turbulence. That's the thing that is her bread and butter. For Hydroid, it's his area control abilities. At least for me, that's my feeling on Hydroid. Is tentacles are his thing. Tentacles are pretty big when it comes to Hydroid. And the fact that it's I find it extremely irritating. I'm I hate having to chase down enemies in your goddamn in your goddamn friggin' tentacle area. Like, I hate the flop. Like, I don't mind the, okay, I don't mind the flop, alright? I like the slapping sound that it makes. I quite enjoy it. And it looks cool and it looks really, really fun, but at the same time, a part of me is like, oh my god, I just want, like, if we're on a defense, I'm like, I just want this wave to be over. Like, between you and me, can this wave just be done? Oh no, we've still got about, you know, we've still got about 20 minutes left on that narrow-minded tentacle swarm that you got. Fucking fantastic. So I'm just gonna have to take pot shots at all of these tentacles. Is that what's gonna happen now? And I know that there's a lot of hate for Hydra out there, but you know, I don't think he's as bad as everybody makes him out to be. But I also think, you know, I also acknowledge the fact that he's definitely got some issues. One of which is this really, really, really irritating ultimate. I'm like, no. So let me know if you find Warframes with really annoying keystone abilities. Like the tentacles. I'm sure a lot of you guys love the tentacles out there and are probably shocked that, like, Rob doesn't like the tentacles. I like the tentacles if they can manage to kill everything very, very, you know, if they can manage to kill things. However, sometimes you're sitting there waiting forever, just like with Zephyr's tornadoes, waiting for frickin' ever for those goddamn tentacles to be over, and you're like, oh fuck, can you just be done, please, just be done. All right, now last but not least is Mirage, and it's definitely not for the reason you guys probably think. I did not really care at all about Cyanoid Simular Mirage. I did not care about her whatsoever, but really the reason that I hate Mirage is legitimately you guys. It is you guys. It is you guys. It is you guys. It is you guys. It's all your fault that I absolutely hate Mirage. And it's mainly because of the reason, and I don't know if you guys remember this, I was actually very, very tempted to make a video way back in the day called Shit Warframe Players Say. And one of the things that I was going to point out was everybody, whenever I made a video about a weapon, every single freaking time, everybody was like, well, have you tried it with Mirage? Have you tried it with Mirage? Have you tried it with Mirage? I'm like, oh my god, shut up. I can picture how it is with Mirage, alright? Yeah, she's got crazy power strength, and at the same time, she's also got freaking Hall of Malevolence, and she's got the fucking 4 clones. I get it. She's good with weapons, you guys. You don't need to remind me. But it felt like every other comment was, have you tried it with Mirage? Have you tried it with Mirage? Have you tried it with Mirage? And I was like, I can't. So I actually stopped playing Mirage a good long time ago. Mainly because of the fact that I just like, if I hear this one more time, I swear to God, I'm gonna go off on somebody. I'm just gonna rip somebody a new face in the comments. I was like, you don't need to ask me every single time whether I've played it with Mirage. It's not hard to figure out how it would be with Mirage. Oh my god, it's so good with Mirage. Yeah, duh, no duh. Of course, it's gonna be fucking good with Mirage. Mirage has literally 4, well, now I think it's just, depending on the weapon, either 2 of her or 4 of her. Of course, I can see how it's going to be good with Mirage. I can see. I don't need to be reminded. You know, it's not just one version of the weapon anymore. It's 4 versions. Okay, I get it. I understand. And, you know, toss on Eclipse along with that to kind of boost the damage output that you get from it. And I'm like, okay, I'm over it. I'm over it. Just stop it. Just stop. I don't need to hear it anymore. Please, my brain is gonna die. Alright, so that about does it. Let me know in the comments if you feel like any of my reasonings are strange, if you agree with some of the reasonings, or actually, this is gonna be the real interesting part, because you know I love to have a little discussion with y'all. Let me know in the comments if you have any Warframes that you don't play for something that you feel is a really, really weird reason. I mean, let's be real, we're an odd community here at A Gay Guy Plays, and I'm sure that some of us have strange reasons for not playing certain frames, so leave that in the comments for me, but I think that about does it. So, as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch yo tentacles. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!